CardGamesTV1 Podcast. Movers and shakers in the DBS card game, or just in any card game. I was just thinking about like the influence that I have in most of the card games that I'm involved in, but at the same time I don't get the credit that I deserve, or at least not publicly. Like privately, among certain groups of people who know better, obviously give me credit where credit is due, but on average, in the masses, I don't get the credit that I do deserve. It'd be different if I got nothing to get credit for, right? If I did nothing to earn any credit. The problem is that I've done a lot to earn credit, and I don't get the credit. So it kind of sucks, right? It's kind of like working a job for months and months, years and years, and not get a paycheck, not get paid for your efforts. Especially if your efforts top tier, right? If your efforts is really good, if very useful. Understand if what I do wasn't useful, right? If the information that I put out there couldn't be verified, right? Couldn't be confirmed, right? Sometimes I know that some people try to act like whenever I talk about something, a certain idea or concept, that it's impossible. That's no way. It's just a theory. No way could it ever be true. We need proof. And it's like, but when I'm talking about something simple and basic, I'm not talking about something complicated, something you couldn't prove. I'm talking about something that can be easily proved, right? Something that it's not too difficult to prove. Now, granted, it's easier to say prove that something's wrong versus proving something right, but it's still easy enough that, you know, if I say the first 4 damage is easy, next 2 require a little effort, the last 2 is the hardest, I can prove it time again, right? I can prove that that's the case. At least for me. If other people try it and they don't get the same results as me, well, you know, they were saying results may vary, but that's a you thing, not a me thing, right? Because I can only really truly speak from my experience. So if I'm the very few players out here that can consistently, you know, do the things that I speak about, then okay, I guess that's just a me thing. But hopefully other people can, you know, improve and get to the point and level where I'm at, where what's true for me is also true for them, right? So if a lot of the stuff that I say and do isn't true for you, okay, then yeah, most people don't want to take a responsibility or accountability, so they'll try to act like it's not them, it's everything else. They're always looking for something else to blame instead of blaming themselves. I've actually had a scenario where one of my brother-in-laws read all 3 of my Yu-Gi-Oh books, and he improved. He memorized a lot of my concepts and strategies, you know, and philosophies for playing the Yu-Gi-Oh card game, and he actually improved. He got better. He actually started winning some games against me. Normally he loses. But then, the irony, right, is he reverted back to his old ways. Oh shit, I just smacked one of those light bugs. I forgot what they're called. I just call them light bugs. But anyway, I don't know why I did that. Should have left it alone. But anyway, it's summertime. They're coming out. But what was I saying? He just reverted back to his old ways. So just doing things the way he likes to do it. And that's the unfortunate scenario you see a lot of times in the world, not just in card games, but in the world. But in the community, like in most card game communities, you see people tend to revert back to doing things a certain way. I bet some people tried the whole, you know, playing decks without super combo thing. Maybe just for the memes, the lows, whatever they want to call it. Because apparently not playing super combos is a meme thing. But then just went back to playing super combos. And hey, to each their own. I'm not saying, you know, they're wrong for that or they shouldn't play super combos or anything. It just wouldn't be surprised that stuff like that happened, where people gave most of my ideas a try, but then just went back to doing what they already was doing. And there's probably a couple of different reasons for it, but more likely it's just because they just prefer their way or whatever they prefer, right? Everybody has their preferences. So even if my way is better, for example, let's just say that hypothetically, if my way is better, some people will still rather do it their way. Some people rather do things the hard way, right? I know some people who deliberately, even if I give them great advice, will deliberately do the opposite just because they don't want to give me credit for the outcome, even though they're the ones who wanted the outcome. If I give them advice to get a really awesome outcome, they'll deliberately not take the advice because they don't want to give me credit. They don't want me to be able to say that, oh, thanks to me, you're a millionaire now, or thanks to me, you won at a card game or something like that. They don't want to give me that. One of my cousins used to do that, which was weird. Right? He's like, you deliberately want to do the opposite of what I say because you don't want me to be able to say that because of me, something, right? Because of me, you have a good deck, or because of me, you're winning, or because of me, you're a better player, or because of, like, you just don't want me to get credit. It's like, that is so weird of an idea, to hate to give anyone credit, even if they deserve it, even if they earn it, even if they're worthy of the credit because they're benefiting you. You just don't want to give them credit. See? And the problem is that we have more people that are haters. We have more haters now, especially nowadays, in this current day and age in the world. We got more haters. We got more naysayers. We got more people who are quick to disbelieve something, quick to say something is wrong, than to say something's right, than to try to prove something right. To the point where it's like people are quick to be like, oh, you gotta show us proof. Prove to me that what you're saying is true or a fact or this, that, or not just an opinion, blah, 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 blah. And then even after you put in the time and effort to give them the proof, ultimately it ends up to be pointless, to no avail, right? It ends up being a waste of your valuable time because ultimately they don't care. Then you start realizing, the obvious stuff is like, okay, most people are just hateful. Most people are just haters, assholes. Most people are not worth the time. Part of why I admit I blocked and banned a whole bunch of people, but they earned it. Usually because they're disrespectful. But there's the rare occasions where I block somebody just because it's like, okay, if what I do is such a huge problem for you, the way I play and the fact that I'm sharing my decks and this and that with the community is such a problem for you, here, I'll block you. There, I just did you a favor. Like most of the people I blocked them just because they were complaining that they kept seeing my stuff. I'm like, all right, you can block me, but since you want to be lazy and not put in the effort to block me so you don't have to see my stuff anymore, you just want to complain that my stuff is being put out there. All right, then here you go. I'll block you there. Problem solved. Probably doesn't solve the problem, but they probably still see my stuff. That'd be funny. I blocked them so they don't see my stuff, but then they still end up seeing my stuff. That'd be hilarious. But yeah, most of the people I blocked was because of that. It was because they were complaining. It's like, okay, if you don't like my stuff, ignore it. Scroll on. Go watch somebody else's stuff. There's tons of other people who's out here sharing stuff you can watch. If you don't like what I'm sharing, that's fine. I'm sharing for free anyway, so why are you complaining? You're acting like you're paying for it. When realistically, I should be charging. Oh man, I should be charging. Especially as much time and effort I put into the information I put out there, I should definitely be charging money. I would have a Patreon, but the thing is that my Patreon account was banned long time ago, so I could try to create a new one, but all that extra hassle to try to create a new one, and then for what? Probably be worthless anyway. Think about it, if most people don't appreciate my stuff for free, why would I think they would pay, right? Like, they don't appreciate my free stuff, which is not like I'm giving you subpar shit. You know, it's not like I'm keeping all the best stuff to myself. I'm giving you the best right off the bat. So if you don't appreciate the best for free, then putting the best behind a paywall is redundant. I mean, it's pointless. You know, that's the irony, right? You put out some great, awesome shit out there, very useful stuff. There are a few people who are smart enough to appreciate it and definitely benefit from it. Clearly, you benefit from it. But, you know, there's other people out there, they're way too ignorant. And that's part of the problem with, like, the social media. You know, social media was supposed to be awesome, right? The idea of internet, the idea that you can connect with other people. We're supposed to be able to share ideas and information. You know, part of why I'm on the internet is to share my ideas, right? You know, I have multiple businesses, multiple things that I do, so I'm constantly sharing, you know, things that work for me, and I share it. That's the thing. I'm showing proof of things that work for me, and it's up to y'all if y'all want to use the, you know, if y'all want to use the information or not. It works for me. It should also work for you. If it doesn't, okay, then it doesn't. Sorry about that. But I can only do the best I can with what I can, right? But it's just always ironic just to see how people are, or how people think and react to certain things, especially nowadays. Shit, back in my day, everything you saw, especially if it was on the internet and stuff like that, you believed it until, you know, you found out that it wasn't true. Now it's like everything is a lie until there's some proof that it's true. But it's just something that I see a lot going around. Not many people sharing what they should share. You know, like, they should be sharing information. They definitely should be giving credit to where credit is due. There's a couple times where I've seen, you know, some stuff that, you know, pointed my direction. I've had people, you know, mention my name, you know, so I've gotten a couple shout outs here and there, which I do appreciate. So, you know, I am not so I'm not in the shadows in the community, as it were. You know, there's a lot of people who are aware of me. There's a lot of people who know who I am. I have been noticing that my channel has been getting new subscribers, so I appreciate that. But it's also ironic that I don't have as many subscribers as you think I should, considering how beneficial my stuff is. But I've seen and known for a long time that it's not about being useful. Ironically, there was a time where, yeah, my videos were getting a lot of views and attention. A lot of my older stuff, not Dragon Ball Super stuff, but a lot of my older stuff. I mean, technically at first, most of my Dragon Ball Super stuff was getting like 400, 500, maybe 600 views within a couple of weeks, months. But now, shit, I see maybe 200 at most views on a video, but that takes like months to get that many views. And it's surprising, considering the fact that it's like, you know, the videos, you know, at least quality-wise are a little consistent. Not perfect, obviously, but still consistent. And ultimately, it's the value that you get from the video that matters more than the appearance. You know, I tend to do a lot of the same stuff. You know, use the same layout, the same thumbnail layout, you know, templates and stuff like that. You know, the title, you know, I have a consistent titling system, so I do a lot of the same stuff over and over and over again. So for me to get different results, even though I wasn't doing the same thing, you know, it's surprising. But that's obviously more because of the community, right? The people who share, obviously, those videos that do get shared by other people tend to obviously do better than the videos that aren't shared. The videos that get likes tend to do better, or even dislikes tend to do better than the videos that don't get any likes or dislikes, or any comments. So any form of engagement, whether it be a like, dislike, or share, or a comment, does help those videos, obviously, the whole YouTube algorithm thing. But it's just an unfortunateness that the algorithm has been set up to promote specific things versus other things, when originally it was supposed to push out everything, or at least everything that was similar to whatever you liked. So if you liked a video similar to it was supposed to be promoted, especially if those videos were recently uploaded. But now they're trying to they just keep trying to promote the same videos over and over again, and they're trying to squeeze as much money out of certain popular videos more than trying to make new videos popular, which is bullshit, because that's the way the platform used to be. See, before Facebook took over, right? No, Google owns YouTube now. Before Google took over YouTube, I was getting tons of views. I got a lot of followers, a lot of subscribers and stuff like that real quick. But the thing is I have over 500,000 views, but over past, I guess, 10 years or something like that. But the channel's older than that. But the past 10 years is like, ever since they took over, it's like the views has dropped because they stopped promoting it. They stopped making it where, they make it where people don't even search for stuff anymore. It's rare for people to go on YouTube and type up, what they want to look for. Now you just go there, you get recommended. And then clearly my shit's not getting recommended, right? Think about that bullshit. Like sometimes I'll type up, like I'll go to YouTube, type up something I'm looking for, like I'm trying to find one of my videos, and I type it up on YouTube, and it's hard for me to find it. Like really, really hard. I gotta go to my channel and try to find the video that way, just so I can be like, all right, let me grab the link for the video and share it. And it's like this bullshit that I go through all that trouble just to find my own video. Like if I type up what the video is about, especially if I'm typing up the title of the video, because I make sure I put a whole bunch of stuff in the title so it'd be easy to find. It should be easy to find. Like YouTube should make my video pop up when I type up enough words for the video to pop up. But ironically, it doesn't pop up as much as it should. I'm like, damn, this makes no sense. It makes no sense that my videos, they have almost all the same titles, right? The same title format. It's ironic that these videos don't pop up when I type up the same thing, when I type up specific keywords that are in the titles. So my videos should be popping up, but for some reason they don't. And that right there lets you know that YouTube suppresses stuff. So that right there is a problem. So I got to deal with that, the bullshitness of my videos being suppressed. It's not that my videos ain't worthy of being watched, because to know if my videos are worthy of being watched, you have to watch it in the first place. The fact that not many people see my videos, I might see a video, it's like, damn, this video only has 7 views and it's been 2 months. Clearly, no one's seeing the video. So it's not that the video ain't worthy of being watched. It's that no one knows the video even exists because it's not being promoted. It's not being pushed out there. So that right there is bullshit. So that's why it's not surprising that not many videos get, go viral. Because it's not being pushed, and it's not a you problem. And that right there is proof that it's not the content. It's the content platform that's the problem, right? It's not the video. It's the video platform that's the problem. Because I could put the same video on a different platform and it'll get way more attention, because more likely that platform is not trying to suppress things. Not saying that there aren't some suppression on some platforms, because for example on Facebook, videos get suppressed more than pictures. So when you put a picture on your post and a link to a video, that gets pushed out there more than if you put a link to a video and then the thumbnail or the video gets embedded into the post. That gets less promotion, right? That gets pushed out less. You'll have less imprints, as they call it, or impressions. You'll get less impressions if it's a video than if it was a picture. If it's a picture, it'll get promoted more. This is why you see a lot of posts tend to not be videos often. They tend to be links to videos, or they're like image posts, right? Graphic posts, or whatever they call them, infographics posts, and where like it'll be a meme or something. Instead of making a video of a meme, you just make a meme, right? Just a picture of an idea, of a joke, and then post that. Even though a video would be better, it doesn't do better on Facebook. Pictures do. Same goes for like, stuff like Instagram. Even Twitter, I noticed that pictures do better on Twitter than videos. See, when you know these things, then that's where you start, doing things differently, right? Like, for example, I bet if I did screenshots of my deck profiles, right, and posted on Twitter, it would do better than if I, posted the link to the YouTube video on Twitter. I bet you. And that's the irony with that. I'll probably get more engagements, more retweets, all that good stuff, right? It's like, I should give that a try and see if that works out. Cause I'm pretty sure it does. Because like I notice pictures do tend to do better, so I wouldn't be surprised that that's the case. That if I do screenshots, it'll do better. And TikTok, pretty much the same thing. TikTok obviously is more about videos than images, but you can literally take a screenshot of something, upload it, put music to it, and it gets, obviously converted into a video on TikTok, and then now you literally have a video, but it's just a screenshot, it's just a picture. It's probably like a meme. I've seen people do that, just like, it's just a meme. It's like, wait, that's just a picture. And you put audio to it. It's like, so you turn a meme into a video, and now it's on TikTok, and now it's getting a lot of attention. The irony of that. The lack of talent. But hey, right, they were saying if it works, it works, right? But just because it works doesn't mean it's good. It just means it works. So that's all I'm saying. That's why I always use that expression. If it works, it works. Not saying that it's right, not saying it's the best way, but if it works, it works. So if it works for you to use super combos, you do you. If it works to not use super combo, you do you. If it works to have, 60 unisons in your deck, then hey, you do you. Whatever works, right? Whatever works, works. That's my philosophy. Hakuna Matata. Whatever works, works. Sometimes I have a habit of not doing what works because of, morals, because of integrity. I'd rather not go that route. I have been messing around with thumbnails, clickbait basically. Thumbnails, giving that a try. I've noticed that has worked pretty well for some of my videos. It's unfortunate, but if it works, it works, right? Like I was saying, if it works, it works. I mean, the thumbnails look interesting, at least. Less bland, less boring, right? Some people will say. But, that's the thing. The content is what the content is what matters, or the contents, the contents of the videos is what matters. But in order to get people to value or see and respect the contents of a video, I gotta get them to click the damn video. But not just that, I need them to share as well, which tends to suck because it's like, can't make people do what they don't want to do, right? Technically. I mean, if you influence people's habits, you control their desires. But I've been trying not to influence people's habits. I just show people what I do and let them decide their path. But unfortunately, the way the world is right now, it's more about influencing people's habits, controlling their decisions, manipulating them, which is unfortunate. That's why you see stuff like in the community about people trying to, promote certain ideas like, oh, this color is bad, this color is good, and this, that, and the third, this, that, and the third. The meta is complicated. Oh my God, the game is is difficult. So you need to buy these expensive shiny cards to make the game easier and all this extra bullshit. Just like, yeah, none of that is true. But I was in a scenario where I was like, damn, it really sucks that I was blocked. I was banned from a couple of Facebook groups. One of them being a specific Yu-Gi-Oh group that I was banned from. But of course, I'm like, I understand why I was banned. It's because I was a problem to the status quo, right? I was the budget player, type of thing, right? Where I'm promoting the idea of, hey, you can play Dark Magician and win a tournament. Hey, you can play budget options. You don't have to play this expensive shiny cards. You could play it a different way. And I show proof, right? I show gameplays. Like, look, see, you can play differently. Look, here, I'm beating meta decks. All these quote-unquote best decks of the format. Look at me, beating them with the not best deck in the format. Per people's opinion, per my viewpoint, my deck obviously is the best deck in the format because I built it. So it's always going to be the best deck in the format. But then, of course, because it goes against the status quo and everybody's trying to make money off of these shiny pieces of cardboard, they can't have someone like me saying, hey, don't buy the shiny expensive cards, buy the cheap commons. They're better. Because no one makes money off of commons, right? No one makes money off of cheap stuff. So of course people are going to try and convince you that the expensive stuff matters. I mean, think about it. That goes beyond card games. That goes beyond the card game community. That goes into regular life. That's why it's not surprising when you got people buying a whole bunch of Pokemon cards trying to make millions off of them, because that's the thing. See? It's not because they care about the game. It's not about, what truly is the best cards or what really is good and this, that, they don't care about that. It's always about money, money, money. And you get the same scenario when it comes to card choices. Some people want to promote the most expensive cards in the game because they're trying to make money off of it. So they're going to promote it like it is the best card because money, when it's not. There's literally tons of cheap cards that are better. I just got a couple play sets of some cards. Ironically, I do have like some high rarity cards, like some super rares, some rares, a couple SRs, obviously. SCRs. I got some high end cards, but they're usually really, really cheap in comparison to most other cards, or they're really, really cheap. But at some point they might, go up in value just because of popularity, right? Some cards can be bought out, buyouts can happen, and, supply and demand, all that stuff, and then things that used to be cheap becomes expensive, I just got a play set of my, what's it called? The Trunks, Pan, and Goku GT8 drop. I got a play set of that. Good cards, cheap, and it's really good. Sorry. In a red deck with a red unison, it's a really, really good card. You can do a lot with it. The main thing is the fact that you can attach it to a red unison, so you can do the red unison's ultimate. Love it. It's like, yes, I've been waiting for more cards like that. So I definitely had to get my hands on it. It's like, oh yes, a card that I can attach to a unison to give it a marker. That's what I like to see. Especially if I'm going to use it in combination with the Fireball trick, or I call it Fireball. That's, what is it, Piccolo Giant Force or something like that? Or King Piccolo Giant Force, something like that. Sorry. Because you need 4 markers in order to trigger its effect, but then you need 4 red energy, and then pay X, and then you do X damage. So if you want to do 4 damage, obviously you'll need 8 energy, 4 of them be red, of course, and then you'll need 4 markers on this unison. So a way you could do this is if you have 8 energy, you tap 2 to play the unison for 2. Wait, thinking about it. Is the unison a 2 drop? No, I think the unison is a 3 drop, right? Give me a second. Yeah, I think the unison is a 3 drop, so that idea might not work. Give me a second. Okay, well, if you have 8 energy, the best you can do is 3 damage. That's the best I can think of. Alright, so let's just say you just need to do 3 damage. Should be hard to get your opponent down to 3 or even 2 life. So the idea is you play the card for 3, you attach a copy so that way it has 4 markers on it. Awaken your leader so you can untap 2 of the 3 energies you tap, so you have 2 extra energy. So that means out of 8 energy, you're 1 energy less. That means you have 7 energy. So you tap 4 red plus 3 for the X, and you can do 3 damage. So that'd be a way you'll use those cards together. And of course, you need a red leader on top of that to play out that whole strategy. Boma obviously is a red leader, and Boma does have the ability to untap 2 red energies, and she's good at stalling, so it wouldn't be that hard to get to 8 energy. And especially with all the new stuff we're toying with, so it wouldn't be that hard to play that and just set it all up and just be like bang bang, now I'll burn you for 2 or burn you for 3 damage. So the fireball trick is more consistent now because of that, plus Boma and Boma GT, if you want to call it that, Boma GT deck or Boma burn or Boma GT burn, whatever. So we definitely got a lot of stuff like that we can toy with. Obviously, I got the GT Goku Trunks thing, 8 drop. I got the GT 8 drop for my Boma deck, obviously, because it has board wiping capabilities, so it adds to the whole Death and Taxes concept of the deck. And then, of course, I get attached to give a unison of markers, so I can use it for the fireball strategy. So I can now, because I have it, now I can add the fireball to the deck, so that way I could, do more than just the Death and Taxes part. I could also do the fireball thing. Gotta have more burn, just so you have multiple options of burning your opponent for game. We're just beating them with big 35k. They can attack 3 times. I think it gets triple attack if I'm right, or triple strike, one of the 2. I gotta look at the card again when I get home. But as long as it's useful, it's useful. Can't argue with it. Even if I use it for its marker capabilities more than actually playing it for 3 energy, when I have 4 more energy to get a body on board, at least it serves a purpose. What? What else? Shit, I forgot what this podcast was about. I was talking about so many things. Mainly is just about how there's many things that I see in the game, especially in the community. Not many people are sharing information or ideas as much as you expect them to. It's like that was the purpose of Facebook groups, is for the community aspect, for the ability for people to talk and interact and, make friends, right? And be able to share ideas. And, if people like the same leader, they can talk to each other about, these leaders and stuff like that, right? It just kind of unfortunate that after a while, after the hype ties down, the community just becomes less community. There was more of a community before the pandemic than during it, and then definitely after. Now the pandemic, or at least the COVID pandemic, pretty much being over for now, while we have all these other issues. The community is becoming less and less and less active. The funny thing is, the only people that are still active in the community are, the content creators. And there's some new, content creators that I see been popping up. So I've been checking out some of these new people's content, seeing what they're doing. And, good, fortunately, something I approve of is a lot of these newer content creators are trying to be, more unique. They're experimenting, they're trying different things. So I definitely approve of that. Instead of the idea of just trying to promote the same thing over and over and over again, as if there's no other way of doing things. Even though there's not much to do in the game. The game is, simplified in the fact that, aggro, control, hand control, mill, blah, 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 like stuff like that, burn, the game is is not that different from many other games. Obviously, it's as simple as many other games. There's just some small factors that make it different enough from other games where you can point it out, like, oh man, this game doesn't have a maximum hand size, and I see the issue with that. I see that the problem with that. With the whole maximum hand size thing, the whole lack of a maximum hand size. The fact that there's no limit to the hand actually, does create a problem. But, it's part of the game right now. We gotta play it. We gotta deal with it. Which is why I do the whole no hand strategy, trying to reduce my opponent's hand size. So that way the whole that way the fact that their hand is bigger than 6 cards, wouldn't be as much of a problem. But it's just kind of unfortunate where it's like you got to come up with a strategy to deal with that, because inherently, that's just automatically a built-in problem, a built-in issue. By anybody who can draw a whole bunch of cards automatically inherently have the advantage. And it's not because they have the effects to draw a whole bunch of cards. It's the fact that they're able to keep the cards in the process. That is the issue. I don't care if somebody can draw 30, 40 cards in a game. It's when they still have those 40 cards at the end of the game, and it's like, I'm supposed to try to deal the last 2 damage while my opponent has a 40 card hand size? Yeah, bullshit. That's going to be virtually impossible. I would literally need something that says my opponent can't out combo in order to avoid a 40 card hand size. Then I need to make sure my opponent can't negate my attacks, right? There are free negates. And if my opponent has a 40 card hand size, he probably got all his free negates in his hand, his sparking negates, along with his blocker negates. He probably has Baby Hat Jack, right? Like Oceanus and all that stuff. Like you got, like, with a 40 card hand size, you got all your super combos, right? You got way too much. And that's the thing. If there was a maximum hand size, there wouldn't be no 40 card hands, right? Because it's easier to deal with a 6 card hand, because mathematically there's a possibility there might not be enough combo power in that 6 card hand to stop all your attacks. So one or two of your attacks will have a better chance of getting through, right? That's the way it should be, but that's not the way it is. So whatever, right? It's Bandai's game. It's up to them to decide that, or to come to that realization that not having a maximum hand size can be an issue, because other card games do. Magic has it, and Magic is a mana resource game. Why do they have a maximum hand size, right? Why do they have a limit on the hand size? Even Yu-Gi-Oh has a limit on the hand size, and that game you could play stuff for free, right? And for I think Pokemon also has a maximum hand size. Just noticing that, this is one of the few games that don't have a maximum hand size. I remember Duel Masters not having a maximum hand size, so I'm not surprised that this game don't have a maximum hand size. But from what I'm seeing lately, it's like, yeah, this game technically should have a maximum hand size to, prevent draw greed, among other things, to prevent the, people just drawing for the sake of drawing just because they don't have to worry about discarding any card. So that just inherently gives them, because I've been in scenarios where I'm literally like, why is my opponent not comboing? You have 30 cards in your hand, but for some reason you're not comboing every time you attack. Just to make sure that your attacks can go through to prevent me from out comboing. My hand size is smaller, so the likelihood of me out comboing attacks is very slim, but they don't combo, and I tend to out combo their attacks because they don't combo. They'll swing with a 15k to my leader, and I'm like, oh, you're not comboing? Even though you got 30 cards in your hands. Okay, whatever. Here, 5k. I'll stop that attack just by comboing one card from my hand. Even though my opponent can easily afford 2 to 3 to 4 cards per swing, all right? They can easily afford it, but they don't want to. It's like, okay, that is ridiculous to have that many cards in your hands and not even use them, as combo power when you can easily afford them, since you can always replenish your hand. But whatever, people make their decisions, but it's just the irony of that, because I'll be attacking, and since they don't want to give up hand size, they'll just gladly take my attacks to a point where they end up with like 1 life and like 30 cards in their hands. It's like, what's the point? My hand size is too small for you to be thinking that, oh no, I gotta have this big hand size because I need to out combo you when I attack for game. It's like bullshit. You got a 30 card hand size, I got a 4 card hand size. What are you waiting for? Go for game already. You have way too many cards in your hands not to go for game already. What are you waiting for? For me to have 1 card in my hand, and then you're like, all right, now my 30 card hand size has the advantage. Really, against a 1 card hand size? F out of here. What kind of bullshit is that? So that's the kind of weird stuff that I'd be seeing from time to time. Especially against Trunks Jeter. I'd be playing against that deck way too many times. And it's like, drawing for the sake of drawing. You're not drawing for any real value. You're not drawing for a purpose, is what I'm saying. You're just drawing just to draw. It's like, all right, if you got the ability to do it, you got the ability to do it. I'm not going to argue, to each their own. It's just that now you're running the chances of losing because of, decking out. You're drawing a 30 card hand size for what? I get the idea that you can dump your whole hand into a single attack and go for game and win, because it'll be hard for your opponent to out combo that attack. I get it, but if your opponent barely got cards in the hand, they got less than 6 cards in the hands every time you're playing them, what's the point of drawing until you have 30? Like, a 10 card hand size is enough for you to beat your opponent. Focus on winning, not drawing. But whatever, let people do whatever they want. Shit, I'll just take advantage of this. If all they want to do is draw, and I win through decking them out, or through time because I have more life than them or whatnot, then so be it. I'll take whatever W in whatever form I can get it in, right? Even though I'd rather knock them out by dealing them the last 2 damage, right? Or the last 1 damage typically. I'll take a mill out win. I'll take a time out win. A W is a W, right? Especially competitively. Guess that'll be the end of the podcast. I'm just rambling.